You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
We believe in the American way, and we built this country called the USA, and we fly our flag because we're proud and free, we're Americans. Red, white, and blue is our way of life. We never back down from a challenge or a fight. Nature provides, God gives the rights, we're Americans. We fish the waters and we hunt the lands. We forge the steel with our own two hands. With what we've got, we do the best we can. We're Americans.
It's time now for the Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show. Now, here's Grouchy.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, I'm a little excited to be here. Hope you are too. We got a good show for you tonight.
Well, at least a useful show for you tonight. You know, I'm not the most entertaining person in the world, but I get my share of jabs in here and there. Bringing you the news you need that you're probably not getting from anywhere else unless you look as deeply as I do. Before we get rolling tonight, there's been a couple of things develop in the last day or so that I wanted to discuss before we get into the stuff that I had actually prepped. The first thing being this last-minute ditch effort by Barack Obama campaigning for Hillary Clinton. I don't know if anybody got to hear his speech, but my God, it was stomach-turning at best. I mean, really, unless you are a dyed-in-the-rainbow apologist feminist who does not have the slightest inkling of what a penis was given to you for as a man, you should have been throwing things at him. Because Barack Obama played the race card, the sex card, and then the confused gender card, all in the same speech within about 3 minutes of one another. The man is disgusting. This man used Hillary's tactics against Hillary 8 years ago, called her completely unqualified, inept, a loon, called her everything you could possibly think of, and now he's campaigning for her. He said that men were afraid of having a woman president in this country. He said that if we looked deep down inside, we would see that it's fear, and not that a woman isn't qualified. Well, no kidding. There's lots of qualified women out there. I can think of several women I wouldn't mind having at the helm of our country. Hillary's not one of them. You know, I think of Condi Rice. I think that even Carly Fiorina would have done a fine job. I think there are some women that are currently in Congress that could do a fine job. No problems. No problems whatsoever. Hillary Clinton is despicable at her absolute best. Her absolute best leaves her despicable. From there, it only goes downhill. You can think of your own words after that. I'm going to try to keep it a little bit on the civil side here tonight, just a little bit. But anyway, I just find it entirely hypocritical and disgusting that Barack and Michelle Obama are out shilling for this woman that they tried to literally destroy 8 years ago, throwing every name in the book at her, accusing the Clintons of racism, and yet she's the qualified one according to him now. This just goes to show you, that the true dyed-in-the-wool Democrats will do anything for another dyed-in-the-wool Democrat. They don't care about morals. They don't care about what's right. They don't care about what's wrong, especially. Now, again, just my opinion. There was the other side of the coin, and if you've listened to the show for any amount of time over the last several months, you know I'm not the biggest Trump fan in the world, okay? Sorry, I'm not sold on him. I'm not. But I do have to say, after hearing his speech from Valley Forge, if he had started his campaign that way and maintained his campaign that way, I can see why he would have been the nominee at this point. and why he should be actually trouncing the worst Democratic candidate since Walter Mondale to come along. And I'm not even sure that she's as good as Mondale. Trump gave an excellent speech. He stuck to what he needed to stick to. He didn't point fingers. He didn't whine. He delivered what everybody has been thinking he needed to deliver. He finally did it, folks. Albeit one time. Albeit one time. I'm not sold on him still. But it was the kind of messaging that I thought he should have been delivering from the start. It's the kind of messaging that a Rubio or Cruz would have delivered. It was actually good. It was. And we're going to get more into election stuff as we get rolling here in just a minute. I wanted to remind folks that next Wednesday, that's right, next Wednesday, 1 week from today, yours truly will be hosting the very first primetime program on KLRN radio after the election. You will not want to miss the hilarity that's going to ensue. There will be whining, there will be stomping, there will be crying, there will be tempers, there will be tantrums to go with tempers. And that's just going to be in the opening 15 minutes. We may not know this time next week who our president is going to be. If the polls are tightening as much as everybody says they are in the media, this could come down to be even more contentious than Bush-Gore. And it could take several days to a week to sort it all out. You never know. It could be a landslide one way or the other. We don't know. If it is, every poll out there sucks, which, we kind of know they do anyway, but that doesn't still mean it's going to be a landslide. But the landslide would prove even further that they suck. Catch me? Okay. So anyway, as we get rolling tonight, let me go ahead and give out the number here. Got something on your mind? You want to talk about it? Call in. Let's have at it. We'll hash it over. Doesn't have to be what I'm on. It can be whatever's on your mind. The number is 405-648-4798. That's 405-648-4798. Oh, and something else, too. Down here on the beautiful Gulf Coast of Alabama, I saw a story that kind of just yanked my chain today. And it's a little out of the national politics. Well, it's a lot out of the national politics picture, but it really just kind of relates to my home state. But I'm going to spend just a quick minute on it here and get this off my chest, because if I don't, I'm going to drive to Montgomery and rip this governor's head off. But the governor of Alabama came out today, and he was talking about the public education system in Alabama. And he said, quote, "It sucks." Now, I'm not going to sit here and disagree with him and tell you that this is a fantastic education system across the state from border to border. I know the truth. It's not. But for this governor to come out and speak like that about an education system that he has done absolutely zero to help in his first 6 years in office. He has taken money from education. He has lowered teacher pay. He has done everything in his power to keep education on the back burner. This state has never funded education properly. And if our governor would like to do something about the state of education in our state, he should start with addressing that problem. Instead of trying to take money from the Education Trust Fund to put it into his general budget. That's right. We got this neat little thing where our education fund is separate from the general fund for the state. And to take money from education requires a vote. It does not education money. But when the sorry for the echo, folks, we seem to have some latency. Hope that clears up. But when you have in the legislature, one party having their way with the education funds is an easy thing to do. And this man is responsible for pilfering money from education. He's responsible for declining teacher pay. He's responsible for increased classroom sizes by having the education department in the state change the mandates for teacher to student ratios. This man has absolutely zero right to be criticizing the performance of an education system that he's done everything in his power to decimate. And that's enough of that. I don't need to go on anymore. You want to hear the juicy stuff. I know. I'm with you. So, news you need. Of course, we all know about the FBI relaunching their investigation into Hillary and her emails, being that they found 650,000 of them on Wiener's device. I just love saying that. But this, right after the announcement, was quite telling. The newspaper, the Chicago Tribune, who had previously endorsed Hillary, has now written a column saying that it's time for the Democrats to tell their presidential nominee to step down and allow her running mate, Senator Tim Kaine, to take her place. Wow. So John Cass of the Chicago Tribune contends that Donald Trump is merely a symptom of the breaking down of American politics, but that Hillary and Bill Clinton are both the cause and effect. He said that Clinton should agree to step down if the interests of the nation were more important, or she would agree to step down if the interests of the nation were more important to her than the power. But lamented that for the Democratic nominee, it's always been about the power, about the Clinton restoration and protecting fortunes already made by selling nothing but political influence. And for those of you that are tuning in on the Spreaker app in the Spreaker chat, good evening. I received the message that you're out there. I know for a fact that Miss Laura Lee of Down and Dirty Sports is listening tonight. Thank you, Laura Lee. But Cass cynically suggested that now would be the time to leak another Trump video so that her allies in the media could talk about misogyny and sexual politics, and the headlines could be all about Trump and the bore that he is, and Hillary as the champion of female victims. Yes, the champion of female victims. Let's see, she was 12? Yeah, that female victim that Hillary represented the rapist of. Yeah, she's a real champion. She broke the little girl down and cried and made her cry and then laughed knowing that her client was guilty and got away with it. That's a real champion of female victims right there, folks. Let me tell you. He lamented the low level of current candidates and said Clinton has clearly disqualified herself from ever coming near classified information again. If she were a young person straight out of grad school hoping to land a government job, Hillary Clinton would be laughed out of Washington with her record, and she would never be hired. Pretty harsh for a paper that actually endorsed her at one point. Cass continued, saying that during this presidential campaign, Americans were confronted with a two-tiered system of federal justice, one for standards for the Clintons and one for the peasants. And that is up to the people to keep her out of office. Political analyst Doug Shane, and longtime Democrat supporter who has worked on the campaigns of many candidates in the party, said on Fox on Sunday that he will no longer back Hillary Clinton for president. Shane said that he is deeply concerned that we will have a constitutional crisis if Hillary is elected, explaining this would mean a president-elect would be under an active FBI investigation because this probe will go on for many, many months. And I have just been notified that we have internet royalty listening tonight. To my friend Polita Bunny, hello. Yes, you are internet royalty as far as I'm concerned, and always will be, Sam.
Uh-oh, I probably shouldn't have said anything. Now he's going to be all nervous.
Oh, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. She can even call in and say her magic word. It couldn't bother me anymore.
Don't tease me. I'll give her the number.
She should have the number. By God, if she doesn't, it's 405-648-4798. That's 405-648-4798. Anyway, he said that under these circumstances that he is actively reassessing his support and he wants to learn more this week. But as of today, he will not support Secretary of State Clinton for the nation's highest office. Now, how bad is it when you've got former Democrat campaign managers and operatives that are stepping forward and saying she should be disqualified? You've got papers that were formerly endorsing her now trashing her. How bad is it? Hillary's people are jumping out in front of this to try to take the bullet for her. I mean, why not? You know, look what happened with Donna Brazile. She took the bullet for getting the questions for the debate to Hillary, and CNN cans her, and Hillary hires her, and what's to worry about, right? I mean, you take the bullet, you lose your primary job, Hillary hires you. She's got a job at the foundation for you. Don't worry about that. The hell's wrong with these people? Somewhere along the way, be a human.
Gee, we have a caller on the line. I believe it may be your internet royalty.
Do we have royalty on the line?
Internet royalty.
Hey, Sam.
Full of it. Hey, how's it going?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm peachy.
You're peachy. You're I'm so grateful. I'm humbled.
You're a dork.
I know. I always have been, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I just thought I'd call in.
Tell me what's on your mind, Sam.
You.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton on my mind. I'm just listening to your show, and I thought, I haven't talked to Grouch in a long time. So I thought I'd call in and just say hi. And, you're really going off on Hillary, and I'm digging that. So here I am.
I go off on everybody. I don't care. What do I have to lose? Look, my vote means nothing. Your vote is very important. My vote means nothing.
All votes mean something. You have to live with what you do, right?
I am in a ruby red state that Trump is going to win with somewhere between 65 to 80% of the vote.
Wow.
You betcha.
Wow.
You betcha.
Yeah.
Go.
I'm familiar with how that feels. I've come from a ruby red state before. I know how that goes. It's a different feeling when your vote means something and you're not in a state is going to go one way or another. So that is something new for me. So, yeah, this has been very challenging as far as figuring out what to do with my vote because there are a lot of consequences either way. So it has been very different actually thinking about what your vote means in a swing state.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So,
Yay.
look,
Lots of
let
pressure.
me ask you something because my friend, I know you are not a big Trump fan.
No, come on.
Hey,
I adore
look.
him. You can tell.
Yeah, I know. What did you think of the Valley Forge speech?
You know, I have a really hard time, and this is going to sound silly, but I almost can't listen to him without getting angry. But I think as far as his speeches go, he managed not to make anything awful. He managed not to insult anyone or attack anyone. So, you know, as far as he goes, I think it was a decent speech. I don't think it would stand out if it had been given by someone like you mentioned, like a Rubio or a Cruz had given a speech like that. That would be kind of the expectation.
Right.
And that is what we should be able to expect from the GOP to begin with. We shouldn't have to worry that he might say something really stupid every time he opens his stupid mouth.
Well, we've been about that too, so.
You know, and I think that's what is most frustrating is that we so badly want someone to behave in a way that we're comfortable with the GOP, and we're just not comfortable with who he's pretending to be. And I think that's what I struggle with the most. And I get a lot of slack about, Bunny, you really should be going after Hillary like this, blah, blah, blah. But I really feel like this is a betrayal more so than what the left has done. I expect the left to suck because they do. I don't expect the right to suck. And so I think that's kind of where that comes in. That anger is with feeling like a betrayal. So, but I think as far as the speeches go, you know, it was finally something normal that we would expect. You know, he didn't talk about someone often, Hillary Clinton. He didn't mention someone having blood coming out of something.
Right.
So I think as far as the speeches go, I think it was fine. You know, I'm not ready to go out and send him a Christmas card yet, but I think as far as things go, it was better.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I alluded to. You know, I'm still not 100% sold on it, but it was. And give me your thoughts here. Do you not think that?
Are you sure?
If he, yeah, I'm positive. You know me. Come on now.
Yes, I do.
If he had absolutely started his campaign that way and carried it through, do you not think that he would have garnered a lot more support?
Oh, I think if he had pretended to actually be a human being from the get-go, I think he would have done fine.
Yeah.
I remember when he came out to announce he was running, and I thought it was a joke. It was so bad. So it could be that he needed to, you know, and I've always said that I think if he had run for governor, like of New York first, that would have made sense. Right. He really doesn't know what he's doing. And I think in that regard, I try and cut him a little slack. But, yeah. No, you know, I think if he had been that way from the get-go, he may not have appealed to the people he's appealed to, though, either. That fringe, those people who want to yell and scream and shake their fists at the world may have been bored with him if he had been like that from the get-go. So it's hard to say.
Well, I mean,
they want that.
Yeah,
they like that.
I can't imagine that he really wants the Nazi-like bonehead base that he really has. And there's a lot of them out there. You know this as well as I do.
Oh, yeah. Just when you think you've seen all of them, 50,000 of them show up. No, you know, I honestly don't know what he wants, and I don't understand what he's trying to do. You know, there's all these theories that he wants to start his media empire, and this is a way to do that, is to, you know, enrage all these people for a year and a half and then have that audience take it from Fox. You know, I just never have believed he really wanted to be president. He just didn't feel that way to me. So, I don't know. We'll see. You know, everyone's like, well, I hope you're happy if he loses. And I'm like, why would I be happy? Because that means probably Hillary wins. There is no joy in this. There's no winning in any regard. We're just in a bad situation either way. I'm just grateful there's someone I can vote for that is not completely against what I stand for. So I do have that, but there's really no winning for anybody in this situation.
That's right. That's right. But
aren't I a bowl of rainbow and sunshine tonight?
Hey,
but
look.
that's kind of where it is.
Look, I'm going to give you the sunshine, okay? I'm going to give you the sunshine, right? There is hope on the horizon. Because in the year 2020, and I want you to think about that, 2020, with a better vision for America. You get that? 2020, better vision for America?
Yeah, I got it.
Grouchy for president. A better vision.
You going to put that on a bumper sticker?
I've already got campaign signs in the production.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Oh my God, I'll be so old in 2020. I don't even want to think about it.
You need to stop. You need to stop, lady. 2020. I'll have had my AARP card for a few years by then.
She's the youngest person on this call, so she needs to hush.
Yes.
What?
You're the youngest person on the call, so hush.
But that's not. You guys are freaking old. That doesn't say a whole lot.
Hey, easy, lady.
Aren't you glad I called in? Didn't you need a little abuse tonight?
Well, you know, I have actually been meaning to send you a message because I wanted to invite you back on the program and make you my first official 2-time guest.
Oh.
Ah.
Sure.
So
I haven't been on the air really, but like a couple times since I went off the air in November of last year.
I know.
So this is pretty rare. Lucky you.
Know.
Yeah, she's skipping out on me. I've been trying for a year.
Look, I'm going to count this as a 2-time guest. I mean,
okay, that's fair. That'll work.
And then we'll work in the future as you feel comfortable. We'll work on an official appearance, and we'll make you the first 3-time guest.
I owe Rick at least one time. I'm really a horrible friend. I really am, Rick. I'm sorry. But it has been an interesting year, and being off has been interesting as well. And you know, you go back and forth with the idea of, do you miss this enough to do this every week? Man, you are consistent. God, you know, Grouch, you work so hard. Rick, you work so hard. I don't think you guys get enough credit because you're there every week, no matter what. You're on the air and you're saying things that people need to hear, whether they want to hear them or not. And that takes balls.
Aww.
It really does, because there are people who hate you when they don't agree with you and will do whatever they can to hurt you. So for you guys to do this day in and week out or whatever it is, it's pretty damn amazing. You know what else is amazing is I didn't drop an F-bomb in all the time I've been on the air with you, so we really should write that down as well.
I am going to write that down, and I have a little something. You know, I wasn't planning on talking to you tonight, Sam, but I do have just a little something to commemorate your appearance tonight, and so I know you're going to love this. Hang on. There you go.
The chainsaw. You know, I have mellowed a little. I don't cut people up as much as I used to, so it's always nice to hear the chainsaw. It's something I kind of miss carrying around with me, but it was getting a little heavy after a while, so I've been just leaving it to the side, knowing I'm probably going to need it a lot coming January.
Break it back out one day when you really need it.
You know, I keep thinking that day is going to come, and it's just, there is no joy in cutting up your own side after a while.
No.
You know, when it was all about cutting up the left, that was kind of fun. Yeah. And I hate to admit it because, you know, I would just be an asshole because I was. But there's no joy in cutting up people that you agree with. You just can't accept that they are voting for someone you're not.
Right.
And that's really hard. You know, everyone's like, well, these never Trumpers, or they love they're so snide, and it's, you know, they want to be right, and it's more important to be right, and it's really not. It's just a matter of not being able to accept this candidate. And there's no joy in cutting up people you agree with. Unless, of course, they threaten your family or tell you, you know, you're going to put you in an oven and set you on fire and rape you or whatever. They're not going to cut those bastards up. But in general, it's not fun.
Yeah, we have encountered a few of those along the way, haven't we?
Oh, just a few dozen. But those people, And they don't care. I mean, you can come at them and you can say, you know, the most horrible thing, and that's what they want. And then so for you to say those things to people you agree with, I just don't take any joy in it. And there are people that I really respect and care about who I know are voting for Trump, that some of them are the last resort. Some of them really do believe he's going to do a good job. And I don't want to be mean to them.
Right.
And so I've really been working hard, and I know this sounds really boring, but I've really been trying hard not to tell people how to vote, not to punish them for how they're going to vote, because I don't want people to do that to me. So it's been difficult because really, you know, the chainsaw is all about cut and go, and I can't do that with some other people on the right. And even, honestly, you're going to freak out, but there have been decent people on the left. And
I know there are on the left.
But here's the thing. You know, a big part of everything I was doing with my douchebags of the week and all of that was based on this idea that the left was just, you know, this disembodied, I don't know, objectified group of people, and then they're decent to you, and it's like, I can't cut you up either. Luckily, there's a bunch of schmucks on both sides that you can cut up, so, you know, there's some job security, but it's been different, and it's been a lot more thinking about this election and people you care about and seeing them suffer and seeing them being afraid of Hillary Clinton, who is, you're right, she is the devil.
Absolutely.
But you're voting for someone who is as bad as she is in a different way. And it's really hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, just to put a little exclamation mark on the point, if you really want my opinion on Hillary, and keeping it PG-13 here, I won't divulge into the language, but I really think that there was a point in time somewhere over the last 35 years that she actually sat down and feasted on Lucifer's body.
That would really give you a horrible heartburn.
I think she devoured his soul and tried to replace hers with his.
She swallows the souls of virgins to keep herself young. You know, there is something really horrible about her. And as a woman, you know, and I'm going to play the woman card because I can, because I have a vagina. The thing I have with this is I would love a woman
She
to
snuck
be
it in,
president. I'm not
folks.
gonna lie
She
to
snuck
you.
it in. She snuck it in. She got it in.
I had to say vagina. You knew I would sneak vagina in. This is me. I just said vagina like 4 times just for you guys. But I'm not going to lie. I would love a woman to be president. I would. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to play the vagina card. There you go again, Rick. The whole point, though, is why does she have to be an evil, disgusting, nasty bitch to be president? That drives me insane. You know, Carly, you mentioned Carly and Condi. These ladies are brilliant and they're well-spoken and they're not nasty. Why does the first woman to get this far have to be so horrible?
Yeah.
Drives me nuts.
You know, I just, what I get tired of hearing from the left is this. You know, every time something that Hillary did wrong comes up.
Well, how about accepting that she's awful? And I mean, if I'm Bernie Sanders, I'm really pissed off right now because all these WikiLeaks are about what happened with Bernie. This is all primary stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's how can we screw over the old guy? How do we keep Hillary? I mean, her own team hates her if you read these emails. They hate her.
Yeah. Even Homa throws her under the bus.
Oh, my God, it's awful. And all I can do when I read them is think, everybody hates her. How can they work for this woman? What are they getting out of this? Why would they want this? It's like, I don't like Trump. I personally think he's awful. I would never work for the man to help him get elected. I don't care how much money he offered me, and he wouldn't because he'd hate me.
Right.
But these people are working for a woman they despise. I don't get it, G.
Money.
I don't understand it.
Money and power.
I'd like money, and I'd like a little power, but I would not be willing to work for the devil to get it. And that's really who she is.
But guess what happens when you go to work for the devil and you don't realize she's the devil when you go to work for her?
And then she owns you.
Exactly right. And guess what happens when you cross that devil down the road?
She swallows your soul.
Yeah, she either swallows your soul or she just has you offed.
Yeah, you know.
53 points.
And the thing with wiener, I just want to say wiener because I said vagina. You know that, right, Rick?
Well, they go together.
Wiener.
It's like heck and
Well, you know, it's kind of like tab A, slot B, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, boy. Well, I had to say wiener because I said vagina. But no, the whole wiener thing, when you have people saying, well, I hope they give this pervert immunity so they can bury Clinton, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. We don't give a pedophile immunity.
Right.
Oh, where are we? And are we this far gone? And, you know, we're in this last, 6 days of hell. And there's nothing to look forward to when it ends. It's like hell is here, and, okay, we lived through hell, and there's still hell. You know, it's not going to be good either way.
You know what I'm looking forward to? Just for the just for the damn ads to stop.
Oh my God, they're so bad. Our children are watching.
Oh my
children
God.
are watching.
And you know, the thing is where I live, you know, I'm down on the Gulf Coast. So the way my state is carved up, my little portion of Alabama where I live, not where I'm from, but where I live, is right next to Pensacola, Florida. So the panhandle of Florida is getting hammered with ads from both of these people. Neither one of them cares to advertise in Alabama because they know Alabama's going red. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But I get flooded with all the damn Pensacola ads, and it's driving me up the wall.
Well, you know, it's almost over, and, you know, we'll only have a month of whichever side loses screaming it was rigged, and then we'll have a kind of a quiet acceptance, and then the riots will start. So my advice is to buy ammunition and pray, because it's going to be bad either way.
Oh, I'm stocked. I'm good. Don't worry.
I know. Who am I talking to? Never mind. You're stocked. Rick, you need to buy ammo.
Who says I don't already have ammo?
You know, I have to give you a hard time because I know you're there. And so you're being quiet so I can pick on you because you're there. That's how it works. Aren't you boys glad I called in? I'm sure I screwed up the entire show. I'm sorry.
I love it.
My intent.
You don't call off.
I know, but my intent was not to take over your entire show. It was just to say hey and kick ass and you guys are awesome and all that good stuff. And I was listening and I thought, I'm just going to call because I'm going to interrupt his entire show. And I know you probably did a ton of prep because you were always organized and I never was organized. So I will throw a wrench into your...
That. I carry stuff over sometimes 3 weeks because I over prep so much. So.
God, I'm terrible. I would never. I'm like, what am I talking about? Oh, let's just get on the air and babble for an hour. Yay! Here I am babbling at you. Yeah. But no, I just, it's been a while, and I wanted to say hi. And it's the World Series 7 tonight, and all that. So
go Game 7. Somebody's drought ends.
What?
Somebody's drought ends. Game 7 tonight.
You know what? That's true. I didn't hear. I heard drought, and I'm like, "What drought? My drought? I wasn't in drought. What are you talking about?"
No, they're World Series droughts. The two most woeful teams in Major League Baseball history. Somebody's going to take a trophy home tonight and end the curse.
Let's go, Cubbies!
And if it's the Cubs, it'll only be a year past the Back to the Future 2 timeline. Just throwing that out there.
Ooh, that's a good point.
So one team's going to take the trophy home, and the other team's going to be going. No boogers.
I hope it's not the lovable losers.
Yes.
So awful.
You know, just to throw this out there, if the Cubs win and Trump wins the election, it is going to be Back to the Future 2. Pretty close.
If both of those happen, then I believe it is rigged.
It's the coming of the apocalypse. That's basically what's happening here. So, you know.
Oh, my God.
Hey, enjoy it now. I don't know. You know, it's with all the craziness you see from others about, I don't mind people who support Trump. I don't even mind people who, really care and like him, but the people who call him Jesus and the pictures of him with, the wings. Come on, really, people?
Thank you.
Come on.
Thank you. If you can articulate your support and it makes some kind of reasonable sense, I got no problem with that.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And I'm really am trying not to be a total hag to people who support Trump. I really am just trying to remind people who he is. And so, before I stop babbling at you and let you go, I'm just trying to make sure people understand that my intent is not, I'm not a Hillary Clinton plant. She'd hate me. I'm not a Rubio plant or a Cruz plant or a government plant. I'm just a mouthy mom who thinks she has something to say.
Are you a house plant?
Huh? I'm a house plant. That's me. I'm a house plant, But I'm so ready for it to be over, and I'm just ready for us to figure out what we have to do. And, if it's Donald Trump and we have a Republican in office, at the end of the day, there are worse things that could happen, and hopefully he doesn't do those things. And if we end up with Hillary Clinton, then we have something to talk about for the next 4 years. So,
oh, my God.
I think we can look at it like that.
If Hillary wins, we're going to have 4 years of nothing but. Yeah. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, if Hillary
Wiener
wins,
jokes
we'll
for
have lots
4
to talk
years.
about.
Wiener jokes for 4 years. Just saying.
Oh, are you kidding? If Comey will be dismissed and this whole thing is going to go away. She'll pardon herself.
Don't mind me, y'all. I'm just going to pardon myself. And
That's right.
Oh my God! Well, either way, even if she doesn't win, Obama will pardon. She will not serve time. I'm sorry,
No.
she's just not.
Well,
She's going to get away with it.
Lynch will never indict her, so that's not a problem.
No, they're not going to. And it's going to end up being, she's going to walk away from it. And either way, she's not going to jail. So, yeah, happy times. Merry Christmas.
To take the low road, I'm gonna combine my ESPN sportscasting desire because I think they should hire me because Joe Buck really sucks. He is the worst.
Yeah, I agree.
He rode his daddy's coattails into the industry, and he's still on them, even though his daddy's been buried for many, many years. And I love Joe Buck Sr. He was a great announcer, but Joe Buck Jr. couldn't suck anymore if he was co-sponsored by Dyson and Hoover. But
you were much nicer than that. I went somewhere completely different. So I'm really, you're a good influence, G. I tell you what. But I agree, he sucks.
Rick has taught me hard to try to keep it PG-13 because it's a good place to be. I can still be smart and sarcastic and not cross that line. So it's making
you
me
have
challenged.
really mastered it.
Yeah,
great. I'm horrible. I'm bad at it. I've never mastered how to keep it, so it's probably But no, I agree. So go ahead and do your ESPN thing.
So for Hillary's election team, for the love of polyester, we have to pull it through.
Polyester.
Come on. Look, if she gets into the White House and puts on 10 more pounds, those pants are either going to melt or ignite when she's walking in those suits.
Oh, they're awful. She probably has just millions and millions and millions of dollars, and she looks like she's wearing curtains everywhere.
Well,
I don't get it.
She's wearing $12,500 jacket curtains or curtain jackets, whatever you want to call them. But
it looks like she bought them at Sears.
God, I said a bad word.
See, it's my fault. I'm a bad kid. I'm a bad influence.
Actually, Sam overcut you, so nobody heard your bad word.
Okay.
Oh,
good.
say it again, then.
No, don't.
But, you can't wear a $12,500 jacket to a speech that you're giving about income inequality. You just can't.
You can if you're Hillary Clinton, because she did.
Apparently, because it doesn't stick.
She has real issues with self-awareness. This is true. She's completely unself-aware. Yep.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Rick, the next time you get on the air, there's going to be somebody who's been elected. Are you ready for that?
Am I ready for what?
When you come on the air next time, you're going to have someone that's going to have been elected. Unless, of course, it's really close and they think someone cheated.
Well, I actually opened the show saying that I would be the first primetime show post-election. So
that's right. I missed like the first 5 minutes because I was saying, I need a link to the show, and nobody answered me until Rick did.
I was really squirreling away for the first 5 minutes on my governor locally here, who what a piece of trash. And you would actually know this story. He actually came out today and he said that education in our state sucked. His words at a press conference, that education here sucked. But guess what? This is a governor that has pilfered money from our education trust fund to move it over to the general fund so he could use it for Medicaid and prisons. This is a governor who has actually decreased teacher pay. And this is a governor who had his education department redo the ratios for students to teachers so that they would have bigger classes.
Nice.
So
what a nice guy.
Happen?
Well, he can come out and blame someone else, and then it's not his fault. He's done all these things with these other areas. It's all about magical accounting and playing that card. I am in a state with a governor that I did not elect, thank God. I didn't have to worry about this guy.
I never voted for him.
This is, for years in Wyoming, Governor Meade, great governor, worked really hard, cared about people, cared about industry, smart guy. This new governor under my new state, he's a real piece of trash. So weird for me. So it's been an eye-opening. You get kind of spoiled when you're in a really red state and you go to a purple state.
Well, when I lived, it was a red state.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And you can see when you are here why it's not red and why it's so easy to take for granted how red a state is like Wyoming. Because, people always joke with me, well, there's like 500,000 people there. There's like 500,000 people down my street. So I understand much better now that this and why things are purple and why and our urban areas, we're not very urban in Wyoming. It's like, oh, look, there's a bar here. That's urban. This is really urban. So, you really start seeing where there's issues and why government is really screwed up in these areas. And by overcompensating, they're screwing the people, and then the people have all these expectations, and it's a disaster. There's a lot of room for improvement, and you bring us red people into these blue states, and it's going to be interesting, I can tell you that.
It is going to be interesting.
Yeah. How long is your show now? Are you an hour still?
Just an hour, yeah. I am.
I've kept you on for way long. I didn't mean to, dude.
You are fine, Sam. You are welcome here anytime.
Well, you are a good soul, but it is your show, and I'm yapping at you through it.
Well, I'm gonna run through this, and I'm gonna ask you, since we only have about 6 minutes of airtime left, will you hang out for 6 more minutes?
Sure, as long as I'm not screwing you up. I feel like I just keep talking on a tangent, and
I'm gonna hit something.
How I am.
I'd like your take. Okay.
Okay.
I just want to get your take on this real quick. So we've got Libertarian Vice Presidential candidate Bill Weld, who says that Comey is off the reservation. We've got former Republican Congressman Joe Walsh, who said he is wrong and really unfair. We got the New York Daily News calling Comey a mad bomber that needs to resign.
Yeah.
Former Attorney General and former Black Panther activist Eric Holder said the Justice Department has a policy of not taking unnecessary action close in time to Election Day that might influence an election's outcome.
That's a lie.
Representative Steve Cohen, a Democrat from Tennessee and member of the House Judiciary Committee, said that careless Comey should resign. I like the little play on words there. Credit to Cohen for a little creativity there using Comey's words. Don Fowler, former chair of the DNC, when Bill Clinton was president, began penning a new chapter of the vast right-wing conspiracy And of course, then there's Harry Reid, who claimed that Comey violated the Hatch Act. Now,
what?
Okay,
I didn't see Reid say that.
Yeah, but now, taken at face value, this could all be dismissed as just simply rallying the wagons to support their candidate, except that there's Republicans in that mix too.
Right.
Here it comes. Here's the big one. Out of all of that, a reasonable voice of dissent, not often associated with reason, stepped up. A voice that has spewed so much left-wing skewed opinion without any facts whatsoever to back it up in the name of journalism that makes you wonder how this person came to the conclusion. But Mika Brzezinski, of all people, from Morning Joe, has begun to question the nominating of the soulless harlot, American-hating witch Hillary Clinton by the Democrats.
Yeah.
She actually questioned her integrity, her honesty, her sincerity, and her entire validity as a candidate the other morning.
Yeah.
Now, if Mika can figure it out, what the hell's wrong with these other people?
These leftists over the years who I've really made angry, and I had one message me the other day and said they felt like they were looking through the looking glass because I'm taking Trump to task. I'm tearing him up. And there is something to be said, and I think what we're seeing on the right and what we might be seeing now on the left is that there are people going, wait a second, am I voting for a person or am I voting for a party at this point? And I think what's happening is they're realizing that they're overlooking who the crappy person is because of party. And they're realizing they have a hot mess of candidates, which is what we've been realizing for a lot longer, that we have a hot mess.
Yes.
And so what do? Do you say, hey, this person and we disagree, so I can't support this person? Or do you say, okay, this person's a Democrat and they're a hot mess, but I have to support the Democrat? It's the same thing with what's happening on the right. Do I see eye to eye with Donald Trump? God, no. Am I willing to fight for him because of the Republican Party? Not anymore.
Right.
And I think that's what you're seeing with people like her, is that she realized, oh my God, what have we done? And I think that's happening on both sides, which I think is really going to be interesting when we get to the election, because you're going to see the diehards. You're going to do it no matter what. I'm voting a Democrat, I'm voting a Republican, and that's it. But then you're going to see people like us and even people on the left going, wow, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
So it's going to be, this third party is really important. Fourth, fifth, sixth, eighth party, whatever we have, it really is important, probably for the first time in a long time.
So there you
have it. So hold on to your hat.
Words wiser than even mine. Words wiser than even mine, but it all comes back to a better vision for America in 2020 with Grouchy for president.
Yeah, I'll take one of those shirts.
Absolutely. I will have one.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Oh, it is how it is. Let me tell you something. And I'm really tight on time, but guess what? All it would take is for one working class schmuck that has a connection to big finance, they could run the presidential table in 4 years.
Oh, easy.
Easy.
And that's the one thing, Trump is a bazillionaire or whatever, so he really doesn't connect with everyday people in that regard, but he talks like everyday people. And he says some same dumb things that everyday people say. So they relate to him.
Sure.
If you could have the know-how and actually the ideal that he pretends to have, yeah, you could absolutely win. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm talking to you. You want to say hi? It's on the air.
Well, we're getting ready to wrap it up. Folks.
My son wants to say hi. He knows I'm on the air. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Who wants to say hi?
I'm sorry. My son wants to say hello.
Well, put him on.
Hold on a second. Hey, Caleb. Say hi to Dee. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good. All right. Are you ready for this election to be over too?
I can't hear. Thanks. Okay, he's done. Sorry.
Oh, he's done. Okay, that's fine. All right,
Sorry.
Look, we're going to wrap it up. Folks, you've been listening to the Conservative Curmudgeon and Politabunny show tonight. I want to thank Sam for calling in and actually hanging out and staying. Thank you so much, Sam. It's been fun. I always love having you on.
Thanks, Steve. Well, thanks for making time for me. I know it wasn't planned, but I'm like, I have to call G. I haven't talked to him in forever. And keep up the great work, you guys. You're so good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And that's for you too, Rick.
You're welcome.
Well, no, I know. That's why
Rick
she said
too.
you guys. But, that's okay. So, since we're about out of time, I thought it was only fitting that we fade to black to get ready for the next show playing this. So apparently it's never going to start. So this is there.
Aw, you're playing my song.
I know it. It's great.
You got.
All right, folks, stay tuned for Jesse's POV coming up next. And, of course, we have the Rhino Report coming up after. We still have a break. I think we finally found something that may fill that break soon, but they won't be launching until sometime in December or January. And, of course, I will be back tomorrow morning on America Off the Rails with my guest, the new lead editor. Get paid to talk for a living, can't seem to pull it off. The new Americana lead editor will be on with me tomorrow morning on America Off the Rails, so make sure you tune in and check that out. And I think that's going to do it. G, why don't you tell folks we're on the way out the door since it's technically your show?
Well, it is, and we are on the way out the door. Again, thank you to Politabunny for calling and hanging out. That was just so cool. And thank you for Rick for jumping in and helping out too. Always like having Rick on the show. And folks, as always, do your own homework, and I will see you next week post-election. I'm the Grouch. Peace. Love ya.
Oh, but ain't that America? You and me, ain't that America? Something to see, baby.